Hello YouTube fans. I want to share with you a dream that I just had. A really bizarre dream. This is a video log of my dream involving parallel universes and exoplanets. What's strange about this particular dream is that it's in a class of dreams that I've been having in the past couple of years, in that the dreams are incredibly lucid, vivid, incredibly realistic, like The Matrix, for example, the movie. It's as if I'm there. And given that I have noticed that these dreams in some way almost seem to be communicating with me outside the dream realm. In other words, when I awake from these dreams, I think to myself, the dreams that I've had, somewhere, somehow in the back of my mind, something is telling me that they're not dreams. When I'm in the dream state, when I'm having these dreams, these types of dreams, it's as if I'm really there. Now, you may think to yourself, all right, that's what some dreams are like. But these are different. These are parallel universe recurring. These are recurring parallel universe exoplanet dreams. I don't watch TV shows about exoplanets. I don't watch TV shows about parallel universes. I don't watch much TV at all. If I do, it's the news or a comedy, series on TV. But I'm having these dreams about these parallel universes, these exoplanets, as if they really exist. So this is my theory. My theory is that these places really do exist, and that they're in neighboring universes that are, as scientists say, 1 micron from our own universe. So in other words, you have all these different bubbles, and each bubble represents a universe, and they're all connected to one another. They're all neighboring. They're all adjacent. They're all touching in some way one another or nearby, and like bubbles, like any type of fluid, sphere, spherical object, this type of energy, the energy of the universe itself, is able to, or rather the universe itself, crosses over into other universes. They cross paths. So you have one universe crisscrossing with another universe. And my doppelganger, in other words, my other self in that parallel Earth, is who I am in these different dreams. And everyone has a doppelganger, I believe. So, as this dream was, I'm all of a sudden inside this very Roman-esque plaza, and it's an incredibly large plaza consisting of ceilings that are vaulted, and there are archways. There's these massive colonnades and these sprawling labyrinthine maze-like corridors. The floor is made of some kind of ceramic that is highly finished, highly glossed, highly reflective. It's like marble, and I can tell by the design, the architecture of this building complex, it looks very judicial, it looks very legal-oriented, and it's huge. It's the size of Disneyland in Anaheim, California. This place is massive in size, massive in scope, and it seems to be underground. So it's hundreds of years advanced from anything that we have on Earth. It's like a mall consisting of mezzanines and different pavilions and different courts, different areas wherein there are office buildings. So it's this underground mall-like facility building structure in which there are office spaces, corporate office spaces. So it's very much like Earth, but this place is just colossal in scope. It's this huge place, and it looks very Roman, very Greek. So I drive in the real world. I have a driver's license. In this parallel world, I'm on a mountain bike. I just all of a sudden have a mountain bike. So I'm riding rather on this mountain bike through the colonnades, the corridors, the different pavilions, the arcades, and the different levels of this building system, and there seems to be no one there. So as I'm riding along, I'm looking at what I'm thinking are pictures, these tapestries, these huge tapestries of these people, these significant persons, and I can't make out who they are, but it looked very almost socialist. Maybe it looked like Joseph Stalin type silhouettes. And again, this place is very Romanesque. It's very Greek. But I can't exactly see the faces of the images. And so they have these corridors and they have these archways, and I'm riding my mountain bike, and all of a sudden I turn this corner and I could see through the blinds of this window there's a black gentleman, and he's wearing full-on tactical gear, and he's in this office, this room in this office, and he has what appears to be a bag that is secure, and I'm thinking there's money in it. So I'm like, this is very much like Planet Earth. They have this system of commerce, and there's this black gentleman, and I'm African American myself. So I see this black man, and he sees me, and what I notice is that he thinks that, or what I sense is that he's looking at me like I'm trying to rob him, or I'm not supposed to be in that building. Like, I'm not supposed to be in that corridor looking through the window. So he thinks that I'm some kind of enemy, and that I'm trying to get whatever he has in the bag. And I don't know that there was money in the bag. It just looked like, an armored car courier with some kind of, courier package. So, but he looks at me, and he's startled and stunned, and he goes into tactical mode, and he comes running, for the door inside the room that he's in. And so I take off on my bike, I turn around, I do a 180-degree turn, and I ride off. And I sense that he's not far behind me, but at the same time, in my mind, I think if I just stay at the current rate of speed, or the same rate of speed, that I'll continue to be ahead of him, and that I can go back to my starting point in that complex on that property, and I can try to find an exit somewhere before he can reach me. Well, as I approach that area where I think I started in this dream state, this Caucasian man sees me, and he comes up, and so I get in a stance, I get off the bike, I ditch the bike, and I get into a fighting stance. He walks up to me, and he's wearing like a windbreaker, and so I'm thinking, okay, he's a police officer, some kind of security agent, and he approaches me, and I'm in this fighting stance, and he kicks my, he doesn't know my capabilities, and he wants for me to cooperate with him, and he says something, and so I'm standing there with my feet spread apart, and I'm in a fighting position, and he kicks my shins, and I know that, I don't think he can really hurt me by doing that, and so I let him kick my shins because I'm kind of sizing him up too, and he grabs me non-violently, and he tries to take me down to the ground, and he says, we caught you, and you thought you could get away. Do you understand why this is happening, or you know why this is happening? Just admit it. And I say to him, what are you talking about? I don't know you. And he says, you know what we're talking about. You've been selling Afinin, and you're guilty of selling Afinin. At that point, I'm absolutely perplexed, like, what is Afinin? And now I realize that I'm surrounded by 3 other individuals, including, I believe, the black gentleman. It was a little hazy, but I know that there are these 4 people in the room, and they're sitting in front of me, and there's this accusation. I instantly realize that the system, I get the sense as if I know something about this world, but I don't really completely know everything about this world. I realize that they don't have any proof of this. My mind tells me they have no proof. I have not been selling Afinin. So I look at them, and I say, there is nothing that you can do to me. And they look at me quizzically. I'm here at this promenade, and they're in front of me, and I'm kind of standing there like I might flee, and they're like, well, how do you know we can't do anything to you? And I say to them, because you have no evidence. In other words, there's no documentation is what I'm implying to them, and they look at me as if I know that, or they look at me knowing that they have no evidence. Then I realize they're not even human. They are humanoids and artificial life forms, perhaps not even physical beings. So I tell them, you are like any computer system, and you are just like any computer system, and like any computer system, you can be deleted. You're deleted. And the dream ends. It dissipates, right? It opens, and the end, and it just kind of like I phase back onto Earth, Universe A, and I'm like, what is Afinin? So I go over to the laptop and I type it into the internet, and it says that it's an extract of afenazomine, afenazomenon flazoaqui, okay? Afenazomenon Algae, right? And that it contains the highest concentration of phycocyanin. It's blue algae. I was being accused of selling blue algae, blue-green algae. So however it's pronounced, Aphanizomenon flazoaqui. Like I said, I looked it up on the web, and I didn't even know if it was a real thing, but I had the spelling in my mind when I awoke from this dream, and evidently aphanin comes in 75 caps. They have aphanin 75 caps, and it's a real thing. So in this parallel universe, I was accused of trafficking Aphanizomenon flazoaqui.